welcome to my channel, Bow and Arrow Tarot. Today we're going to get right into the weekly reading for the sign of Pisces. This is going to be for February 22nd to the 29th. Let's go ahead and get right into pulling out your romance angel messages. Now, I'm going to pull out 3 messages for your week. Right, then we'll pull out 3 animal spirits, and then we're going to pull out 3 forecasts for you just to see what your week may or may not be like, okay? So let's just see, my lovely Pisces. It is Pisces season now, right? Depending on where you believe the cusp to be at. Some people believe it is the 20th, 21st, or the 22nd. It really depends on the degrees, right? You'd have to have a farmer's almanac or something like that to let you know. But in any case, I'm pretty sure we're right into Pisces season. Unrequited love. Codependency. And we have new love. Wow. All right. Well, unrequited new love in the same spread means somebody's feelings are going to be hurt, right? Let us hope it isn't yours, Pisces. All right. I'm pretty sure it won't be, but let's just see what the outcome for your cards are. We're going to see what your animal spirits are this coming week, 22nd to the 29th. And of course, these animal spirits, again, may or may not resonate with you, and that's fine. Just take what applies and let the rest go. May not all be for you, and that's fine. I'm going to be finishing up the love outlooks for March this weekend, either tonight, Friday, or tomorrow, and then finishing up also the abundance and career outlooks for March for all of you, all right? So we have the crocodile. It's been showing up a lot more recently. We have the rabbit. So water, earth, and we have fire in the form of the gazelle. Very nice. All right, so let's get right into it. The crocodile is all about watching, waiting, patience, right? Gathering strength, right? Getting yourself prepared to make your move, right? The crocodile doesn't just lay there. He's watching, right? He's watching everything that's going on. And as he's watching everything around him going on, he's also gathering his strength. And the patience that he has is so formidable because he will absolutely not make his move until he's ready, until his energy is exactly where it needs to be. And so this is an excellent animal spirit to come in when you are preparing for a big change or when there's a lot of different things going on around you, right? A lot of activity going on around you. And you really want to get a good handle on everything before you make your next move or your next decision in anything, right? Rabbit energy is earth, and the rabbit is associated with being very anxious, very fearful, just worried, worried and sort of like, bemoaning its own fate, very pessimistic, the spirit of the rabbit. But generally it comes out of fear, the rabbit is just fearful. Fear sort of, the rabbit is the one who's always like waiting for some doomsday event, right? Waiting for some animal to come gobble it up. That's the spirit of the rabbit. Just really not believing in itself very much and just being very fearful. Now, this energy can come into a lot of us. It can come into any of us at any given point in our lives. I'm sure we all go through periods of that. Or you may know somebody who's resonating with this. If this energy is around, then it's time to maybe take a step back from your environment and just try and get some perspective, right? It's time to get some perspective. Perhaps it may be even time to change your environment a little bit, maybe your environment is adding to your sense of anxiety, right? And so it's time to take a good hard look at how you're living, where you're living, what you're doing, and sort of get out of that mode. Now, the gazelle is fire energy, and it's associated, of course, with beauty and motion, right? We talk about running like a gazelle, beautiful, graceful creatures. All right. So this is somebody who's imbued with a lot of grace, you know, in their actions and the way they sort of go through life. You know, they have this sort of grace about them. At the same time, the gazelle is the animal spirit for alertness and watchfulness and being mindful and aware. You know, the gazelle has to be extremely sort of alert and aware because, again, it is a prey animal, right? So predators are constantly preying on the gazelle. So it always is watching its back, you know, it moving, sort of, you know, moving very quickly, right? And through life, but yet at the same time, being very present and watchful and not sort of, you know, allowing anybody to sneak up on it in any kind of way. And so in this way also in life, we're talking about being prepared and not allowing anybody to sort of pull the rug out from underneath your feet because you're being watchful and you're paying attention to what's going on. And you're not taking, you know, funny coincidences that seem like, that shouldn't be happening. You're not just going to let that go. You're going to like pay attention to that because those are all signs, right? So watching out for dangers in all kinds of areas of your life is the energy of the gazelle. All right, so let's get right into your spreads for the week, my lovely Pisces. Going to pull out 3 spreads for your week and see what you may or may not be going through. These forecasts are intended to be separate from each other. So for separate Pisces, we have a 9 of Swords, we have the Strength card, Major Arcana, and the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is a card that doesn't come off up that much in my readings. 9 of Swords, yes, anxiety, right? If there's any animal spirit or tarot animal spirit connection, it will be the Rabbit and the Knight of Swords. This is a lot of anxiety and regret and worry, having sleepless nights, wondering what's going to happen next, right? So some of you are coming into the week with this energy. I do believe that it has something to do with your career because you round the week off with a Knight of Pentacles. So something, for some of you Pisces, you may be going through a period right now that's just really kind of unsure. You know, you don't know what's going to happen next, or there may be some events happening in your career, your business right now that's just giving you a lot of anxiety. But please do not be too disheartened because just as the spirit of the rabbit needs to calm down and not be so afraid, here we are the same way with the Nine of Swords, because the Nine of Swords oftentimes is unnecessary worry. It's worry and misery that we put ourselves through, right? And it doesn't always necessarily have anything to do with reality. Come into this week with this energy, but you're met with the Strength card, and this is a feeling that certain events are going to happen for some of you Pisces this week, where you're going to realize exactly how strong you truly are. And it could be that you were anticipating these events, and this is maybe why you were coming into the week with this anxiety. But when they happen, you realize, you know what, there's nothing for me to worry about. You know, I have the strength to handle this. I have the control to handle this, right? I'm not going to let my emotions get the best of me. It could be like, an example would be like if you were expecting some kind of event at work that you knew was going to be very upsetting or very difficult for you to handle, and then that event comes in and you realize you actually can handle it, right? Maybe you didn't get the promotion that you wanted, or maybe there's something going on at work, you know, that you didn't that you expected, but that you thought was going to take a heavier toll on you than it did. In either case, I think you really surprised yourself, Pisces, with the strength that you have. Right. I think the spirit of the gazelle comes in because you deal with this difficulty with grace, right, and strength and awareness. And by the end of the week, you round off with a Knight of Pentacles, meaning you are right back on your path. You're right back to having self-esteem and confidence in your goals, in your path for your career. It was a momentary time where you were feeling anxious, but now you kind of redouble your commitment. Right? And you can't really be slowed down or stopped anymore because you realize, like I said, strength has come in. And a lot of times the Strength card shows up because events happen in our lives where we are tested to a certain degree and we find out exactly how strong we are. Remember that this is the 8 Major Arcana. The 18 is the Moon card. And the moon is all about a testing phase, right? And so this is where we have the connection, right? Just like the 8 and the 18 are connected, the 7 and the 17 are connected, and so forth in the major arcana. There is that sort of lower and then higher level to the same type of essence. And here we have it in the sense that, yes, this week you find your strength, right? You find your strength. You realize exactly how strong you are. And you never really kind of doubt yourself again, because the Knight of Pentacles is the most committed knight in the deck. He never really slows down. And by the end of the week, this is absolutely the stance that you're taking with regard to your career or business. Judgment, Two of Pentacles, Two of Wands. Now, Two of Pentacles and Two of Wands have been showing up a lot lately for the readings. And I think a lot of us are going through some real financial ups and downs, right? Especially February has been such a wonky month, right? It's been all over the place. Let me get right into your first card. Judgment is all about increased empathy and understanding, right? Certain experiences have begun to come into your life, which really have allowed you to loosen the hypercriticism that you've had about certain things, right? You may have, previous to now, you may have been very black and white on certain issues, very uncompromising, very sort of judgmental, very hypercritical. And now that you've had certain experiences for yourself, you begin to see situations from different sides than your own side. You can also begin to sort of let go of some guilt that you may have for the way that you've acted in the past or the decisions that you've made in the past, because you kind of reconcile with yourself. You realize that you're only human. And, you did the best you could. And just as you also recognize that others are human and they do the best that they can in their circumstance, it's a real feeling of forgiveness and understanding and reconciliation. And this is the feeling that you're coming into the week with. You are, however, met with a lot of ups and downs, a lot of turmoil financially. And I think that this energy here of you kind of giving yourself a break, right, from being too harsh on yourself, is going to really allow you to handle these ups and downs a lot better. Because I think the way, the effect that it's going to have is that, you're going to say to yourself, well, you know what? Last time I went through this sort of scenario, I reacted this way. Now that I've been through that experience before, now that I understand myself a little bit more and I understand others a little bit more, now I can handle all of this upheaval in my sort of financial area, career, or business area with a lot more sort of grace than I did last time. Spirit of the Gazelle coming in, right? Also, Spirit of the Crocodile. There's a lot more patience that you're going to have going through this, because you've kind of reconciled the way you dealt with it before. Maybe this time you're going to change a little bit, right? Nevertheless, Two of Pentacles is a feeling of a lot of sort of balls up in the air and being very unsure where they land. Sometimes we just have to trust that things will work out the way they should, as long as we remain vigilant and aware, as long as we continue to gather our strength and be ready to make the right decisions when it's time to make a decision. Sometimes this Two of Pentacles can really be sort of energies that we're not in control of. We can't be in control of them. They're kind of, it's energy in our lives that's sort of going up and down. We kind of have to just roll with it, you know what I mean, until there comes an opening for us to make a decision or to take control, right? But in the meantime, before that opening comes, we kind of have to just sort of roll with the punches. And that's a lot of the Spirit of the Crocodile coming in, watching, waiting, gathering strength until it's your time to make the move. By the end of the week, you're absolutely resolute about how you want to move forward. Two of Wands is Mars and Aries energy, and it's a real sort of warlike energy in a lot of ways, in a sense that you're ready to move forward, you're ready to take that next step, and you won't be slowed down. I think the way you've come into the week with this understanding, and the way you've handled the way the events coming into you this week, you're able to handle them with a lot more grace and patience and understanding, right? Has allowed you to sort of vanquish that fear. And so in this way, we can see all the spirit animals working together, but it's allowed you to sort of vanquish any fear that you would have had before. And this time you're ready to move forward, right? By the end of the week, you're ready to make that crocodile move. You've collected your energy. You know which step to make or which way to go. And perhaps a window of opportunity as well through all of this flux has come in, and now you're ready to sort of move forward. You understand exactly how you want to move forward, and you see your vision, right? And it's a really nice feeling of having your self-confidence in a particular area in your life sort of level up from where you were here, right? So you leveled up, resonated up to a certain level of confidence. Of course, this is also going to be for a Pisces whose career or business is something that you're very passionate about, because Two of Wands talks about following your heart, your goals and your desires, but really following something that you're passionate about, and yet at the same time, it is connected to your career. So this is going to be for a Pisces who has a career. You know, you're not just sort of punching a clock, right? This is something you actually believe in. Your heart is in it. And you're ready to move forward by the end of the week. Last spread, Ace of Swords, Clarity, Nine of Cups, Happiness, and Nine of Pentacles. A lot of double numbers. We've had 2 and 2. Now we have 9 and 9. Interesting. The first one we had, yeah, it was the Nine of Swords. So we now have 3 nines that have shown up for your reading. So this is very much a week for a lot of Pisces where you're going at it alone, but it's kind of the last step before you reach completion. Ace of Swords comes in. A lot of you are coming into this week with a real sense of clarity and understanding, right? Suddenly, the cloudiness that you may have been sort of suffering under perhaps previous to now is gone. You know exactly what you need to do. There's an understanding about which way to move that comes in, Spirit of the Crocodile. And certainly clarity comes with the Spirit of the Gazelle as well. But in any case, you're coming into this week. You may even, some of you, be resonating with new ideas, inventive ideas about how to move forward. It feels really fresh and new and exciting and clear, right? So, and you're met with the Nine of Cups. So I want to say for a lot of you, this attitude that you're bringing in, you may indeed be dealing with a lot of friends this week. You may be visiting family. But in any case, the events this week really remind you of how lucky you are in a lot of ways with your relationships. Because Nine of Cups is the card for happiness and contentment. It's the card for sort of having a lot of your wishes fulfilled, right? And just being very blessed, right? It's a card of sort of just being very, very blessed. It does, however, like all of the 9 cards, there's an essence of the Hermit there, in a sense that that deeper connection, that twin flame perhaps connection, soulmate connection, is still elusive. Yes, you've been blessed with a lot of good relationships, but that one ultimate relationship, which would be a 10 of Cups, is still kind of eluding you to a certain degree, right? But nevertheless, this is a week where you're feeling very sort of happy. And so it's interesting because by the end of the week, you round off with a 9 of Pentacles. Now, this can be suddenly rewards beginning to come in. This is a very good week. It's almost like part of this understanding that you have coming in is going to open your eyes to where you really are in life. It could be that up until now, you haven't really realized all of the blessings you've got. You haven't really realized that you have been slowly resonating higher with your financial stability or abundance, right? But then this week, it's like you see it. You realize, well, hang on a second. I do have a lot of good friends to count on, right? I do have skills, and I have mastered something in, my craft. And, these rewards, I did work for these rewards, and they are coming in because of my own work. It seems to me that this Ace of Swords is very much a realization week for a lot of you Pisces, right? It could be that up until now, you may have had tunnel vision on one sort of area in your life that maybe wasn't going so well, or just maybe like literally not even an area, but a piece of an area in your life that you may have been unhappy about. And so this week, this is a real week of sort of I want to say refocusing on all that you do have, right? Even though you are sort of alone in the sense that you're not, yes, you do have relationships and friendships and stuff, but that like I said, that higher connection, because Nine of Pentacles is also someone generally who is very ambitious and most often will put their ambitions and their career before any deeper long-term commitments with people. And so it could be that maybe there was some unrequited love there, Pisces, before that was making you feel very grim and very sort of doom and gloom. You may have been resonating with a little bit of spirit of the rabbit and unrequited love previous to now. And so this week you get all of your passion back. You get all of your sort of clarity back on, in fact, how well you really are doing. And I think the whole thing gives you a real sense of sort of confidence, and it almost feels as though like you may have been caught up with this unrequited feeling of unrequited love, but now you realize, well, hang on a second, maybe I wasn't even that in love with them. You know, maybe I just got caught up in the feelings of it all, because actually I am very ambitious, you know, and I am very happy to be to be flying solo because I'm making my money. My rewards are coming in. And yes, I do have a lot of friends and happy connections. You know what I mean? And it's like you almost like you may have forgotten yourself a little bit by worrying about this unrequited love. And it's almost like this week you remember who you are. All right, Pisces. This is your reading, February 22nd to the 29th. Please let me know if you enjoyed it, if it resonated. Share your story with the collective in the comments. Please like, subscribe, and share. All of that really helps my channel to grow, especially sharing the videos on your social media and letting more people know about my channel. All of that is really helpful for me. This is what I do for a living, so I do hope you guys enjoy it. But for right now, Pisces, have a wonderful last week of February, and I'll see you next week for your first week in March weekly outlook. Bye-bye now.